Everyone's always saying, you got to be ambitious. Sometimes you got to be ambitious about rest, about nurturing your soul and your heart. They say that the only way to treat being overwhelmed is to do absolutely nothing. It's in those spaces that you find who you are, even that you connect with your life.
Welcome back to the channel, beautiful people. It's your girl, 𝘰𝘱𝘺𝘨. And today I want to talk about something we often overlook, undervalue, and many times just downright disrespect. And that's rest. Not sleeping, not laying down, scrolling through your phone. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm speaking on is real, regenerative, restorative rest. We live in a society that glamorizes hustle, celebrates burnout, and treats rest like a reward instead of what it actually is, a biological, spiritual, and emotional necessity. Let me be clear. Rest is not laziness. Rest is leadership. Rest is self-respect. And if you don't prioritize it, life will humble you and make you prioritize recovery. Ask me how I know. So let's break it down today. Why rest matters, how it heals your nervous system, and how it can literally change your life. Let's go.
Quick thought. You know that we can go 21 days without eating food. And you can live without eating. It's cool. But you know what you can't do? You can't live without going to sleep. So everybody right now that's playing around with that circadian rhythm and not taking that sleep cycle serious, keep on playing with the sleep cycle, right? You're shortening your lifespan. You're disrupting your nervous system. You're messing with your digestive system. You're messing with your lymphatic system by not sleeping. So the longer you go without sleeping, the more you're disrupting your system, your immune system. You got level 11 of them, and you're disrupting all of them by not sleeping. That's why you can go a long time without eating water, eating food, drinking water, what have you. But you can't go a long time without sleeping. After 72 hours, your body will start malfunctioning. So you have to get rest. For all else, rest the body, all right? So the mind can function properly.
When you're constantly in survival mode, grinding, pushing, rushing, your nervous system stays in fight or flight. That means increased cortisol, anxiety, digestive issues, insomnia, and even hormonal imbalances. Rest, especially deep sleep and intentional stillness, shifts your body into rest and digest mode, also known as parasympathetic nervous system activation. That's when healing happens, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Want to age slower? Rest. Want mental clarity? Rest. Want better heart health? Rest. Want focus, memory, and better decisions? Rest. Listen, you're not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you haven't stopped to recalibrate. Creativity does not thrive in chaos, it blooms in quiet. Some of the world's most powerful ideas were birthed out of. Think of sleep as your brain doing laundry. It clears out waste, files away memories, and makes space for new thoughts. If you've ever had to sleep on it actually work for you, that's your brain doing what it was designed to do. Don't believe me? Let's look at it from a scientific vantage point.
Good morning.
The greatest challenge that America faces in the health arena?
I think it's fast becoming one of the greatest public health challenges that we now face. Every disease that is killing us in developed nations, from cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, stroke, even suicide, they all have significant and causal links to insufficient sleep. And if you look at the epidemiological data, it's quite clear too. Short sleep equals a shorter life. It predicts all-cause mortality.
What's the link?
The link actually is many-fold. So upstairs in the brain, we know that it creates a toxic protein buildup, a protein that's called beta amyloid. That toxic sticky protein is related to Alzheimer's. Downstairs in the body, it demolishes your immune system if you're not getting sufficient sleep. And it also activates stress chemistry that leads to cardiovascular disease, increases in also cancer-related molecules. You also want to eat more when you're not getting sufficient sleep.
So you're fatter.
So you gain weight more quickly. Also, even if you're exercising, we used to think of sleep as the third pillar of good health. That's not true. It's actually the foundation on which those two other things sit, diet and exercise.
What's so great about your book is it's research-based. It's epidemiologically based. Write about sleeping pills, the bad, and the ugly. Tell us why.
Well, firstly, sleeping pills do not produce naturalistic sleep. I wish they did, but at this stage they don't. They're a class of drugs that we call the sedative hypnotics, and sedation is not sleep. So you're simply removing consciousness. You're not producing naturalistic sleep. The second aspect is that they've been related to a higher risk of mortality of death and a high risk of cancer too.
So just to make sure we get to this, so what do you do to make sure you get as much sleep as you should?
So I think there are probably 5 key tips. Firstly,
Before we get into those 5 key point tips, I want to just reiterate what he said. Now, this man he's a doctor, a PhD, and he's been scientifically accumulating data and doing research and studies for the past 20 years. Now, what he's saying is that if you want to look at it from a scientific and a physical vantage point, it affects everything from the psychological down to the physical in every way possible, from your thinking, from your hormonal activity or lack thereof. It affects your appetite. It affects your nervous system. It provides a gauge for anxiety or lack thereof, providing you're getting enough rest. These things are all interconnected. Let's be mindful of that word. One will affect another.
keep it regular, go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, no matter what. The second is darkness. We're actually a dark-deprived society. So at night, try to dim your lights, only put half of the lights on, you don't need them all, limit screen time. That allows that sort of melatonin hormone to build up and get you to sleep. It needs to drop its temperature to get to sleep, and you can help it to do that. That's the third thing, temperature. The fourth is actually walk it out. Don't stay in bed if you've been awake, because then at that point, your brain learns the association between your bedroom being about being awake. And many people will say to me, you know, I'm sort of falling asleep on the couch with television. I get into my bed and I'm wide awake and I don't know why, because you've learned the association between bedroom being about wakefulness. Get out, go to a different room, dark light, dim light, read a book, only return when you're sleepy, and then you'll relearn the association between your bed equaling sleepiness. Finally, and it makes me deeply unpopular, no caffeine after 2 p.m. and no nightcap. Alcohol is probably one of the most misunderstood chemicals. It's also a sedative. You're just knocking yourself out. It's not naturalistic sleep. And it also fragments your sleep. You wake up many more times throughout the night. And it also blocks your dream sleep.
Yeah.
So no alcohol.
And you didn't mention food.
Food, the advice right now is don't go to bed too full, don't go to bed too hungry.
Thank you.
A very interesting point that he actually was very correct on, and I can speak from experience, is indulging in alcohol and then attempting to go to sleep. The only time that I would really get any good sleep immediately after drinking alcohol would be if I overdid it, right? He reminded us that it acts as a sedative, as does the sleeping pills, as opposed to your body actually naturally getting into its Zen zone, right? Into its sleep mode. to where the body actually heals. These things we have to keep into account and consideration. Of course, not taking caffeine several hours before bedtime is a no-brainer, but worth re-mentioning. So have you ever snapped at somebody because you're tired? I know that I have. It's actually a very good key indicator that I am tired to the point of possible exhaustion and feeling overwhelmed, and it's time to shut it down. Did you ever say something you didn't mean, or even cry just out the blue? If you think that lack of rest does not contribute to these types of outbursts and emotional idiosyncrasies, you're mistaken. Emotions are harder to manage because of your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for emotional regulation is exhausted. And as the brother mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's at the point where your body is beginning to malfunction due to that exhaustion. Rest refuels your ability to respond instead of react. That's key. So if you want better relationships, a calmer home, fewer arguments, smoother interactions with people, rest is an underrated secret weapon. So I want to talk about this too. I want to be real for a second. Grinding without breaks, we tend to internalize and interpret as it being productive, as if we are engaging in productivity. You know what? I'm having to unlearn and relearn that this is by design, and in reality, what it means is that you're running on fumes. Your brain works in cycles called ultradian rhythms and needs breaks about every hour and a half to 2 hours if you're pushing it. When you rest, even briefly, and you take those small intervals after every hour and a half to 2 hours, you come back sharper and more efficient. I notice when I don't do it often, but every now and again, of course, I will push myself to exhaustion. And by the time I realize I'm exhausted, all of the signs have revealed themselves. I'll lay down for maybe half an hour to an hour, depending on what I can afford. And I am absolutely in a better position than I was before I laid down. So sometimes those small breaks are what make the most impact and kind of extend you and your productivity throughout the course of the day. So in short, slowing down helps you speed up, if that makes sense. If you're chasing goals, launching something new, or trying to stay on your grind, understand that your grind is only as strong as your recovery. This one clip absolutely warmed my heart, and it gave me the spiritual side of rest and how it can be super instrumental in the mindset of how we look at rest, how we embrace rest, and how we utilize it. I just want to say something. Start viewing rest as a spiritual practice, as a protest against a world that wants to use you up and spit you out, as an act of resistance and an investment in your longevity. Let's take a look.
Living the life that we prayed for years ago. And if we continue to move as though we're still asking God for things and we still got to work towards something, you're in the here and you're in the now. Tap in. Be grateful for the prayers that were answered today, because this, what I'm doing right now, is an answered prayer.
Amen.
How dare I not say thank you? How dare I keep moving like I didn't ask for this? No. So be mindful. Be mindful. That's all I can. And I'm breathing this in because it's hitting my heart in a way that I hope y'all are getting it. Because a lot of things I say, people be like, what you talking about? In a deep way. Go deep with your thank you. Go deep with your mindfulness. So you can see all the beautiful things around you. And you can acknowledge them. Say them out your mouth. That's a beautiful rose. Look at that butterfly. Things, the small things that make you smile. We're going to start doing it, okay?
In order to implement anything that she spoke on, you're going to have to slow down. You are going to have to sit down. You are going to have to sit in it, whatever it is for you and whatever it looks like for you. You are going to basically have to be intentional and deliberate when it comes to being thankful, to having conversations with God or the higher power that you acknowledge in your life, in your daily experiences. You are going to have to let it sink in, because rest is a form of self-worth. People who believe that they are enough don't feel guilty for resting. I'm still a work in progress for that. But the older I become, the more truth resounding it reverberates in my psyche, my conscious, as well as my subconscious. We understand that rest is not something to earn. It is a right. The way God created us, it is a necessity. By prioritizing rest, you're telling your body, your spirit, and the world, I am valuable, and I do not need permission, nor do I need to break myself to prove myself. And let's not forget, beautiful people, rest teaches the people around you how to treat you. If you honor your own boundaries and capacities, others will too. So I want to do just a moment of reflection by asking a couple of questions. And you can pause the video, think about it after the fact. But I recommend that you do it in stillness and quietness. When's the last time you truly rested without guilt? When's the last time you said, I've done enough for today? Hold up now. And you meant it. Are you surviving off of adrenaline, caffeine, and prayer, when what your soul really needed is to unplug? This is what I would like for you to take away from this video. That rest is not the opposite of success. It's not the enemy of ambition. Let me repeat that. It is not the enemy of ambition. It's the fuel for both. I challenge you, as well as myself, to start and to continue viewing rest as a spiritual practice. Make time to rest intentionally. Don't wait out until you burn out and it forces your hand. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. What do you need to say no to in order to say yes to rest? Drop that in the comments if you're claiming peace today. I appreciate your time. The most valuable resource you have to offer anyone on today. If you would like, subscribe and share this with someone who's running on empty and needs a gentle and loving reminder that you are not a machine. You are a miracle. And even miracles need rest. Until next time, y'all. Rest well, stay whole, and be kind to yourself. Peace.